It's that time of year when I start a new build. This is going to be a slightly different project. You'd want these up there and then thatched over all the way around here. You do someone a favor and they help you out with a product. I'm really excited about this. Oop, even she's scared. Modern eco build, who's an actual cowboy. Porch going all the way around. Whoa. Well folks, welcome to episode 1 of the Eco House build. Last time I was here, I inspected this structure, which belongs to a friend of mine on a ranch nearby. And I've come along and I've decided to take on the project and turn it into a house. So after closer inspection, it was obvious that the roof beams had to be replaced. There were also 2 posts which needed replacing, as they were old pine trunks and rotten all the way through. These were replaced with treated telegraph poles, which I dug out of the hedge. They seemed in good condition, so I trimmed the ends off and dragged them over. I've decided to dig everything in about 30 centimeters, which was a bit tricky to do, but I got there in the end. All these posts have been braced together and will help with holding up the floor. Now, I have actually spent a bit of money, but I'll be telling you at the end of the episode. The first expense was lengths of wood, which a local farmer sold to me for a good price. I also asked a friend for a favour in return for a barbecue that evening, and that favour was to collect the wood with the help of his flatbed truck. The wood was good, solid oak, perfect for this sort of project. The farmer was happy too, so yeah, bit of a win-win. I ended up sorting out all the wood into various piles, which just makes it easier for a project like this. Speaking of things that make it easier, check out this sawhorse which I made from the old roof beams. You can see the wood is slightly rotten on the outside, but totally solid on the inside. But still, I'm happy with my decision of replacing the roof poles, as it will give me a peace of mind knowing they'll be good and strong to hold up the thatch. Now, just to recap, the plan is to use straw bales and then make up a cob mix of clay, sand and straw, which will be applied to the outer and inner walls. But I'm going to need some windows, and I think I found the perfect ones. After a bit of scrolling through Gumtree and Facebook, I came across this woman about 30 minutes away, and she had a few windows which I thought would be perfect for this build. I didn't want modern plastic ones, as they would look out of place. So check out what I got, and the best thing is, they were free. And that's what this project is all about. It's about building a house using free or reclaimed materials. So now let's talk about money. How much money have I actually spent out up until now? Let's start with the windows. So the windows were free. Okay, I'm not going to include the amount of fuel that I've spent driving from A to B to go and collect free things. But screws, I have needed a few screws for this, and up until now I've spent £32 on screws. And then there's the wood that came from the farmer nearby. You know, I've shown this, the amount of wood that I've received, and a lot of my friends are quite jealous because they're all into woodwork, and this is the perfect sort of oak that you'd use for things like chopping boards, which I might actually make later on down the line. Now, how much did it actually cost me? Well, I did give a friend a bit of a barbecue at the end of the evening. I put on a bit of a barbecue, but again, I'm not going to include that because we all need to eat, and I just cooked enough for 2 people that night. How much did it cost me? It cost me £130. You saw how much wood I got. It was all good, solid oak. And some of it can be used for either a door or maybe the window frame later on down the line once the straw bales are in. So that brings us to a grand total of £162. And I am going to be reusing the materials that I have here. Not only am I reusing the oak, in fact, I've also made a bench. But one thing I do want to reuse are these bolts. So wherever I can, whenever I can, I will be reusing the old bolts that I've taken out of the old frame. So that is it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next week's video. We will be doing more to the build. Hopefully we'll get the floor done, and then it'll be time for the straw bales.